I'm Valerie June, and I'm a singer-songwriter from the United States, originally from the South in Tennessee, but I live now in New York. I've been there for almost 7 years, so pretty soon, once I hit the 7-year mark, I'll be a New Yorker. That's what I think, anyway. I grew up in Jackson and Humboldt, Tennessee, between these two small towns, and Jackson is the biggest town between Memphis and Nashville. And Nashville is the country music capital of the planet. And Memphis is the home of rock and roll and soul and blues. So growing up in Jackson, Tennessee and Humboldt, we had, pretty much every genre of music was around me all the time, just from the radio to going in a store and shopping, or at a restaurant and eating. They'd be playing everything, all kinds of stuff. Things that were from the region and things that were on national radio. And so I was influenced by all of these awesome sounds. And then we went to church every Sunday, so I was influenced by those songs as well. Being from Humboldt and Jackson, Tennessee, greatly influences what I'm doing now, because we just had so much at our fingertips being from Tennessee, because there's all of the genres there, and there's someone in every genre that has been a world-known star, So you would always be able to think of somebody like, Elvis, for example, and think of his music, or Tina Turner, who was just like Nutbush is about maybe 30 minutes from where I grew up. And think about Tina Turner for a second. I mean, let's really think about this lady. She did so many genres of music, and still, to me she still does, even though she's retired. But eventually she just is Tina, and I think that's so beautiful. And it's the same with Elvis. Elvis is Elvis. Elvis did some gospel stuff. He did some like rock and roll-y kind of things, and no matter what, it's always going to be Elvis. So those are pretty big people to come from my little area of Tennessee. And so it was always pretty inspiring to be from a place where, it moves slow. The houses are pretty small, and time is kind of still, and you see the cotton fields, and you see like dirty rivers and the history of the land, and the heavy food, the hot sun, like really hot. But you also see how people took those things and they kind of grasped the essence of the land and put it all into music. They just sang about what they were feeling and what was happening and got it out. Well, the new record's called The Order of Time, and the songs were written over the course of about 10 or 12 years of my life. So some of the songs came really fast, but they might have been written, when I was living in Memphis. And if you think, I've lived in New York for 7 years, so that was a while ago. But I just didn't record them in a professional way, just on my computer or my phone, to get down the song itself, but actually going into the studio and investing time and teaching musicians and talking to them and sharing ideas with the producer and just coming up with the songs in the capacity of a band setting. That it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of patience and energy and a lot of stars aligning to make that magic happen in the studio that needs to happen. So I've waited for some of the songs to release them because they had to find the right partners. They had to find the right family. And I have a lot of songs. So sometimes I'd be in a room with other musicians and I think these guys would sound really good on this particular song versus one of these. So I just go through what I have and I say, what fits well with this room and with these people, and then so there's so many reasons why some of these songs didn't come out sooner, why I didn't choose to record them sooner, and so it's all been a real cool process of time and waiting and going and stopping and collecting stories and ideas. And so the songs are similar to my other records where they're all over the place. There's no real genre setting for them. They're just Valerie June songs. It just seems to be something that I don't really have a lot of control over. So I don't really have control over the fact that the record is sporadic and that it, you know, just is so many different sides of me and myself as a writer. I just have control over the fact that each of the songs is a song that I feel like I can sing night after night. And that's what makes a song go on a record versus not going on a record. Michelle Obama is amazing. She is amazing, amazing, amazing. Whoa, the woman is beautiful and so articulate and so bright and just, she's a star and she shines for so many people. And when I was invited to the White House to be a part of this project, it's called Turnaround Arts. And it's a project that she started, and her plan was to go into communities that didn't have art in the school programs and to take artists and musicians and actors and have them go into the schools and offer programs for children. And I think it's so cool to do that because I live in New York, where I went for the first time to the New York Philharmonic to see Anushka Shankar perform, and I felt so honored to be able to be there because I can't just get in the car and drive down the street in Humboldt and go see the New York Philharmonic type or anything similar to that, you know? So having access to art in New York is way different than when you live in Middle America and you don't have access to museums and you don't have access to like any arts culture or music culture at all, really, if they don't have it in schools. And a lot of schools have started to cut it because of budgeting. So the kids that suffer are the kids who are in like the less, you know, affluent communities. And so Michelle's plan was to go in and to begin starting to present art for the children. And as artists went into the schools, the grades started to get better, and just they were more enthusiastic about coming into school. There were less bad behavior issues and things like that. So I'm really grateful that I got to be a part of the project and that she was thinking that way. And I just have such visions that I feel like using my platform in music and getting to where I feel like the trajectory of my career can go, that I can use those platforms to inspire and help people in the way that she has done, you know? And I feel like that's what anyone who reaches any point of success in their life should do. So it's really cool. She's such a motivator. She's inspired me so much. And beautiful. Oh my God, so tall and beautiful. My experience of the UK is really great because I feel like it, you know, when you're in the rural areas, it's so great. I love being out there and seeing the stone walls and green grass and sheep of different colors. I like picking out the black ones. I'm like, oh, there's a black sheep. And it's just such a dreamy place. I was just telling someone last night when we drove up, I saw the Mad Hatter Hotel, and I thought to myself, wow, there is such a magic here, you know, in the sense of like, I feel like fairies, you know, I really do. And If you know anything about me, you would know that I spend a lot of time watching period pieces. And usually people in these pieces have British accents. And I just love it so much. It's kind of like my favorite thing to watch. I've seen so many period pieces. Mr. Selfridge and Downton Abbey and all of these really good ones. So in my mind, I kind of live in the UK sometimes. It's fun in the old time sense. But there's a respect for the old time here, and I think that's cool. I feel like the political situation in the United States is a thing that has inspired me so much to be a light and to put all my focus in shining, put all my focus in being a creator, put all my focus in like understanding my power as a citizen of a beautiful country, that I have a lot of dreams and a lot of hope for. And it's funny that I say this today because yesterday was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And I was born in January, like Jesus and Martin Luther King. But no, I'm just joking. But I was born in January, and Martin Luther King Jr. was a Capricorn too. And I always get excited about my birthday, but I think I might get more excited about Elvis's birthday and Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Because speaking of inspiring people, this is a man who shared this beautiful dream of just harmony and sweet things, you know, in the same way that John Lennon did through writing the song Imagine, which is one of my favorite songs ever of any songwriter. And that use of a dream and imagination is where I choose to put my focus and my light, because I have no plan in my life to shift my focus to anything other than that. I feel like where your focus is what manifests. So if I'm tending to my garden and I'm realizing that power that I have as an individual and the responsibility I have to create a beautiful world, and it's all on me, and the next person's feeling like it's all on me, it's all on me, it's all on me, and on and on and on. And we're taking responsibility for that, and we're doing things to actually go into our communities and make it better, and we're not putting it off on somebody else in some other city, in some house somewhere, then it's gonna be okay. I feel that along my journey, as a person who's dealt with things that are challenges in my life and trying to push through and manifest my vision, I've had to keep my focus so sharp on what I wish to see in the world that I really don't have time to put my energy into any worries, any doubt, anything but my power as a creator and a beautiful being here on earth. Anytime I put my energy anywhere else, I'm taking away from the time that I could be spending pushing for the beautiful things I wish to see. So that's how I feel about it.